Alright, hi everyone. Peter here. This is a video brought to you by Squarespace, and it is a little bit of a sick day at the moment. Feeling a little bit, one of those sore throats, a little bit achy, just really not on the top of my game, but I can go ahead and sit here and chat with y'all for a little bit. Hope you all are feeling okay. I still remember when I was little, and the major upside of getting sick is that maybe you'd be able to stay home from school. And it was already, my mom was a nurse, so it was not that easy to pull the wool over her eyes. I never managed to do that thing like in the movies where you'd like hold the thermometer next to a hot light bulb or something, and then trick her into thinking that you had a fever when you actually didn't or anything. I think actually one time I just really wanted to stay home, and I felt like a little bit bad, so I was like, oh please, I think just let me be sick today. And it turned out I did have fever when I didn't actually think I had a fever. That might have just been a fluke. Anyways, I feel like the two main ways, no, actually there were three main ways I got sick when I was little. First is I just got lots of pink eye. And I think that's just like, maybe that's just like a public school thing. There's just tons of kids running around together. That was like elementary school. When you're just like a little kid, everyone, they're just all in there, all touching the same stuff, all, probably not washing their hands good enough. It's kind of gross to think about now, but yeah, there were several days I stayed home because of pink eye, and the more I think about pink eye, even now, I probably have not thought about it in like 10 years. That stuff was gross. Your eyes get disgusting, and I'm going to stop talking about it now. Secondly, I kept getting strep throat, and my tonsils. Is strep throat and tonsillitis the same thing? Anyways, I think at one point I got it like 3 or 4 times in a row, or at least really in quick succession. And I went to the doctor, and I distinctly remember the doctor saying, "Hey, if he gets it again, we've got to take those tonsils out." And I've never really had any sort of like surgery like that. I know that's not major surgery, but when you've not had any surgery and you're a little kid, the doctor's saying you've got to have your tonsils taken out. If you get sick the same way you've been getting sick a lot, that's kind of scary. But I remember whenever I had strep throat or got any kind of sick, my mom used to like let us lie on the couch, and we would get to drink ginger ale, it felt special because she never really ever bought soda otherwise. So that was kind of nice. I guess, is ginger supposed to be good for your stomach or something? I don't know. But thankfully, I never got my tonsils taken out. I still have them to this day, even though I did get my nose tonsils taken out later. My adenoids. I think that's kind of the same thing, because I couldn't breathe, because all of my tonsils are very big. The ones in my throat, the ones in my nose. The ones in my nose were keeping me from being able to breathe through my nose, in addition to I had a deviated septum. So it used to be I could only breathe like 10% through my nose. Now I'm way up there, maybe near like 60 or 70% breathability. But I'll come back to that in a second. I want to talk about Squarespace for a moment, where it's easy to have your own website where you can set up your own portfolios and galleries, present your own work out there professionally for anyone to look at, plus set up your own online store, whether it's physical or digital art, and it manages all the inventory in the background for you, so you can log into the control panel there, see what you've got, see how many more there are, see who ordered it, see where you've got to ship it or send it, and then it'll automatically send an update email to the person who bought it, and it makes it easier on you to keep doing the things you want to do more. I speak from experience because I've been using this to sell even just digital versions of my books or physical paintings, and it's been working good for me. So go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, Go to squarespace.com/PeterDraws for 10% off your first website or domain. All right, basically what I was saying about my tonsils is that I remember the doctor saying if I got strep throat again one more time, the tonsils had to come out. And so, sure enough, years later, no, not maybe like 2 years later, I did get strep throat again. And I was terrified. I was like, oh no, here it is, this thing that I've been dreading for so long. I mean, there's not even anything I could do about it. It's not like it's a personal shortcoming or something I could have. I mean, maybe I could have been like washing my hands more or taking more vitamins or something. But when you're like, I don't know, that's probably like 10 years old. It's just kind of like this weird thing hanging over your head. Like, hopefully tomorrow I don't wake up with strep throat and have my tonsils taken out. Because I liked my tonsils, because I still remember every time a doctor looked in my mouth my whole life, they would say, it was like a Little Red Riding Hood moment, like, my, what big tonsils you have. And I don't know, I was just used to getting that compliment, or at least I took it as a compliment. And then to have those taken away from me, plus the scariness of an operation, I don't know. But my mom would always try to console me saying, oh yeah, when I got my tonsils taken out when I was little, it was so fun. They gave me custard and ice cream and all this stuff. I'm like, Mom, it's not working. I still don't want it to happen. I don't care how much ice cream is involved. It's not going to save my tonsils, okay? Anyway, so when I got strep throat again, nobody mentioned taking my tonsils out. And so then I was like, okay, maybe it's not happening. Eventually I brought it up again. And then my mom was like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. That was just because you had been getting strep throat like every 2 months. He meant if you got strep throat again that quick, like all at once, like, oh, you know. And so then I was a little bit upset that I hadn't been communicated with effectively, because it had been like 1 or 2 years of me endlessly dreading getting strep throat, because I thought no matter what happened, if I got strep throat again, I was being put under the knife. But no one else was worrying about it. It was just me. Anyways, I still have my tonsils today, and they've been working good for me. Whatever. Do we even know what tonsils do? Is it like some sort of immune system thing, or they like glands, or? But I don't know. Anyways, I have them. And the other big thing I used to get a lot, finally here, was ear infections. And I don't know if this is like, it's like from pink. Is it similar to pink eye, that I was just in public school around grimy kids all the time? Or I think my suspicion was I had this tendency to blow my nose too hard. Yeah, I would blow my nose, and I would just pretty much blow as hard as I could, and I could feel it in my ears, but I didn't like the pressure backup was going out to my ears, you know what I mean, if you've ever done this. But I don't think I realized that maybe it was bad or dangerous, or maybe when I learned the concept of nose blowing, no one ever told me like, yeah, just do it a reasonable amount, or maybe that shouldn't have been a thing that should need to have been communicated to me. Like, don't blow so much that it hurts your ears and then you keep getting ear infections. I don't actually know what ear infections are caused by, but I still remember how annoying and painful those were. And I'd lie there on the couch, sometimes crying because it hurt so much, and my mom would be putting these drops in my ears. And yeah, those are probably my least favorite ways to get sick. I definitely prefer strep throat or pink eye over ear infection. It's just like relentless pain in your ears, I guess. It's amazing how I can remember that like 26 years later, however much later it is now. I think I've gotten better at blowing my nose now. I haven't gotten an ear infection recently. Also, recently when I was at my doctor, one thing I like doing ear-related is putting Q-tips in my ears, which, I've heard a lot of mixed results about whether or not you should do this. People are like, no, don't put Q-tips in your ears because it's bad, or you could hit your eardrum, or you could impact the earwax, and then that's the dangerous part. So I don't know how it got brought up, but I asked my doctor, and he's like, yeah, it's not that bad. And then he added on the end, as long as you keep on doing it, or as long as you do it regularly. And then one time I didn't do it. For some reason, I didn't do it for like a week, and then I did it again. But I kind of understood what he was saying, because doing it regularly is good, because there's not much ever builds up, which I can understand could also be unhealthy, because there's got to be some natural use and purpose for earwax in your ears. But if you keep on doing it regularly, you clean it out, and so every time you stick a Q-tip in there, which Q-tips are the perfect size for. If this isn't what Q-tips are for, then what are they for? What were they designed for? It's the perfect ideal tool for this. The only real use for them. Anything else seems like you're using them wrong, or for something else than other than which they were intended. Anyways, I don't know what I was saying, but you know. Oh, the main reason I do it is because it just feels so good. That's why I want to keep doing it. Not because I'm afraid of earwax in my ears. It just feels good, okay? It just really, really, really does. Also, because when I get out of the shower, the inside of my ears feels all wet and soggy, and I don't like that feeling. And sticking the Q-tip in there dries them out. Nobody else? Anybody? Okay. All right. I think I got all the important topics out of the way in this video, so thank you for listening. And let me know if I was off base on anything. But yeah. All right. Have a good day, and take it easy. Sleep tight. Good night.